Digital Talking Book Review. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Digital Talking Book Reviews. This is Tanveer Syed, Blind Man Reviews, and I sincerely apologize for the delay. A lot of things have happened in between, especially if you were keeping in touch with my main channel, The Bengal Dragon. So you know what I've been up to lately, but I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I've actually come across a very interesting audiobook. Today's book is going to be Didn't See That Coming by Rachel Hollis. Now, I just get random audiobooks in the mail. I don't go around looking for them. So if I find something interesting by the title and by the Library of Congress annotation, I end up reading it. Okay, first, let me get the negatives out of the way. Some parts of this book dragged on for a bit too long, and it actually felt like more of a plea for her own mental satisfaction instead of trying to convince someone of why they need to change the way they're thinking. The other negative was that a few times Rachel Hollis mentioned that her book targets mostly women as their audience. I did not know this until I was more than halfway into the book. And then it was as if the author was telling me that, Tanveer, you're reading a wrong book. A few things like that aside, overall, most of the book was actually very good. Okay, I say that because the book is about the different frames of mind when dealing with traumatic events. Now, as someone who's lived both in the East and the West, okay, from a Western perspective, I will say this is a very good book. However, from an Eastern perspective, this book is the equivalent of birds going tweet. I will say, in terms of your mental recovery, this is a good starting point. I say that because if you actually think about living conditions and situations in many parts of the East, it is actually unbelievable compared to what you see in the West. Because a lot of people in the East, believe it or not, when they look at a lot of the reasons people are complaining about in the West, they actually start laughing. They say that you guys, as in people in the West, have no idea what actual hardship is. And you guys keep running to the Pope or the therapist every time you feel a pinch. What was that line by Mos Def in that song? They get a little pinch and go snitch to the Pope. That's pretty much a line from a rap song that encapsulates a lot of the attitudes around people who grew up in the East. Because think about this. Rachel Hollis, she actually is a huge proponent of seeking constant therapy and going to your therapist. Has it ever occurred to anyone that people in the East suffer much worse? And the concept, the idea of a psychological therapist is very, very new. In fact, it is so new that they do not distinguish between someone seeking psychological therapy and someone requiring shock treatment. They classify both of them as insane. Similarly, a lot of people in the East equate philanthropy with begging. These type of things are a foreign concept to them. Yet, despite living through harsher conditions, despite having no therapy whatsoever, finding all the counsel, finding all the support needed only within friends and family, and their recovery dependent upon the quality of that advice and the honesty of their support. What do I mean by honesty of their support? This is petty level family politics that you see. It's unbelievably present in like a lot of parts in the East, especially the areas in South Asia. And me personally, this pettiness is actually why, let's say places like the Indian subcontinent, despite having almost every resource that they need to thrive and become a real superpower, they're actually still lagging so far behind. It's not because of the British Empire, it's not because of anything else. It's mainly because of their petty mindedness and the few people who know how to manipulate petty minded people. This is why I mean honesty of the support. Because if someone is down and out, if anyone else wants to turn this to their advantage, to their emotional and psychological advantage, they will tailor make specific advice so that they can social engineer a response. From an Eastern perspective, I will say this is a good starting point. That yes, no one is going to pick you up. You have to pick yourself up. Yes, you have to change your frame of mind to reach the best possible outcome. Yes, you have to be dynamic and try and find solutions. These are generalizable to all people on earth and to male, female, and any other designation, even able, disabled, any other designation. And this is why when Rachel Hollis mentioned a few times that her book, or indicated that her book is targeted towards women, I was actually surprised that even she doesn't understand her audience that well, maybe. This is a fascinating read. Yes. Would I have seen things differently? Absolutely. Absolutely. In a lot of places, Rachel Hollis takes a very defeatist attitude. And I would be like, no, that is not how you should act. You should act with more vigor, with more fight, with more drive. And you should realign your thinking to make that process as least cognitively obstructive and as most physically productive as possible. Overall, I will say this is a very good book. Is it as good as Good Morning Monster? No. For me, as far as digital talking books are concerned, the best book I have audio read is Good Morning Monster by Catherine Gildner. But overall, I will give this digital talking book a 9 out of 10. That is it for this episode. Please do let me know what you thought about this book in the comment section below. And as always, please do hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons, as all your support really helps this legally blind YouTube content creator to continue making a variety of different type of videos on this and the main Bengal Dragon channel. And through the algorithms would help these channels grow. This is Tanveer Syed, Blind Man Reviews, signing out.